Joined by two friends that are getting ready to put together a huge seminar. The seminar goes down on Saturday. There are two seminars, one at 10 and one at noon. It's going to happen at the Sheraton Atlanta Hotel. Now, there's a limited amount of seats, so you need to register right now to be able to get into this seminar. I will be there. I will give words at the seminar and speak a little bit, too. NCESnow.org is the website. What this interview really is all about, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you how this whole thing came about. Several months back, Wanda knows that I was in the market. I had to turn in my car and get a new car.
Right.
And basically, I thought I was just going to roll up in the dealership and leave my car there and just pick out another one, sign the paper, and roll on. And the general manager of the car dealership said, Frank, we got to run new credit apps on everybody because what happened in this recession, a lot of people's situations changed, and we can't just
give it to you.
Give it to
like
you.
that.
And I was like, okay, no problem. Let me just go ahead and sign the paper.
Confident about it.
Are you kidding? Frank Ski.
Felt good about this deal.
With Frank Ski on V103.
Yeah,
Frank Wanda.
I'm good. I'm straight.
Ain't got no credit problems.
Yeah. And if I do, they going to fix it up.
So anyway, they called me, and they were like, Frank, you don't qualify.
Right.
And I was like, well, the car I'm getting is half of the car I got the last time. It's a cheaper car. They were like, yeah, but you can't qualify to get nothing.
What?
I said, what? I went home, told Tanya. She was like, what? So right away, panic set in and found out that there were things that were on my credit report that shouldn't have been there. Things that I don't even know what they were.
But was it like medical bills or just
all kinds of stuff? And I don't know.
Things you had no knowledge of or things that you did purchase and didn't pay for? What was the case?
Things I had no knowledge of.
Okay.
Things that I had purchased and paid for. Things that should have never been reported anyway. So anyway, I began to think to myself, like, do I need to go out and hire somebody to fix this? And there are a lot of people out there now that have these businesses and they say, we're going to fix your credit right away. And I had heard not so good things about that. Right. And I said, there's got to be a way to do this free. Like, there's got to be a way for me to be able to do this free. And through, my manager, Ryan Glover, he introduced me to Bo Young and George Cole. And I went and saw them over at Credit Education and Restoration. And I said at that meeting, we need to tell the city about this.
Right.
You telling me, because I'm educated, I thought I knew a lot. But the knowledge that George dropped on me was mind-blowing.
Wow.
And the things that he told me and the games that are played, and he fixed it. Like, George fixed it right away. Subsequently, I went back, got the car, and everything's fixed, and we rolled on.
Normally, a process would take quite some time because they tell you gotta fix this, you gotta pay for that, you gotta call this company, you gotta send you a letter, you gotta do that. So how long was the process for you?
2 weeks.
Wow.
2 weeks.
Nice.
So on the show right now with us is Andrew Bo Young and George Cole with yes. So they're both here with National Credit Education Services. So let me start with Bo. Why do this?
Well, Frank, it's very important that our community learns to empower themselves through education about their finances, learn about budgeting, and have an understanding how vital credit is in our daily lives. We're coming up on, I hate to call it an anniversary, but it's the date that Martin Luther King was killed. And a lot of people don't realize that the reason Dr. King was killed was because he was in Memphis fighting for the rights of garbage workers to have fair wages. And so empowering working class people and poor people through economics is just a part of my upbringing.
Exactly. And for people to know, you are Ambassador Andy Young's son.
Yes.
Okay. And George,
yes, sir.
What is, for you personally, what does this mean for you to be able to put 1,000 people in the hotel this weekend?
Well, I think what we're going to do is educate more people about credit, make the game fair, to bring up people's self-esteem, to let them know that the game is not over. It's just begun. No matter if you live in an apartment, roommating, or you feel that your situation is just horrible, it's not. You're in the perfect situation to leverage yourself to be educated and get your credit report restructured, learn how to get it built up. And so now you can leverage your credit to build an asset and not a liability. To be able to buy a home for $45,000 that normally went for $175,000. Didn't it show you how to pay it down, show you how interest works, to show you how to get ahead and to stay ahead? And that's what we have to do in America. It's a new placement in America. It's an opportunity that we've never seen ever before in America to come up. We don't need
now's the come up time.
Oh, it's the come up time bigger than ever because people are landlocked in their own residence. They can't refinance their residence. They can't buy another house because they can't qualify for that. So all these foreclosures out in the market, people can't buy them. So you are in the position who do not own a home and want to make that change. You can make the change. And for these single moms, I mean, think about the come up that we can put them into a house. The kids is feeling better about their attitude because now they got their own
front yard,
got a front room. Their self-esteem's coming up. Everybody just grows spiritually and you become greater. So I ask for people to come out so we can show them how to fight the travesties of bad credit.
Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break because we got a lot to say. When we come back, I want you to tell me, like, who is Equifax? Who is Mr. TransUnion? That's what I want to know.
Who is Equifax?
Yeah, who is
All
Mr.
we know
Equifax?
is we don't like that name.
Yeah. and what is the credit score? And why is mine so damn low?
And who is FICA?
Right. I got a question for you guys. Because I asked the question before we went to the break, who is Equifax? Who is Experian? Who are these people? And how did they get into business to where they now controlling us? Like we're scared of Equifax now. No, and who the hell are these people?
I don't even drive
They're
down
not
that
a government agency, but where did they come from, George?
Right.
Well, basically, they were created out of reducing overheads for companies. You know, back in the day in the 70s and 80s, you'd have to write down your company's name, your account number, your address, and the phone number, and that lender who you're trying to borrow from, they would have to call all of your people who they do business with. Well, that was tedious. It cost companies more money to verify credit for someone else. So the credit reporting agency stepped in and said, look, we can house and maintain this information for you. We can give instant access to information and let you know what their credit looks like. But what they have done now to say that they were creating a service, now they have taken that service and used it against the American people by putting medical on there, putting collections on there, putting frivolous things on people's credit report that has no bearing on how
Student
they have
loans.
the ability to pay.
Right.
You know, they got things on their parking tickets. How's a parking ticket for $1? We've seen items on people's credit reports for $1 that would drop their score 80 to 100 points. Now I can't borrow. Now I'm borrowing a car instead of 2.9% interest. I'm borrowing at 18.5% interest. And I'm bound to make a late payment in 72 months because the interest is so high. And now I'm going to be burdened the rest of my life with bad credit. And you're robbing me from my financial prosperity. So really, I think that they're keeping this country in financial bondage.
All right.
Very good.
Now, obviously, we could talk about this subject for about 2 hours, folks.
All morning.
And the way the phones, every line in the studio is full. So we're going to try to get to as many questions, but we want to remind everybody, you can register online for the free, I'll say it again, free seminar this weekend, NCESnow.org. That's NCESnow.org. Or you can log on to our radio station website at v-103.com, v-103.com, and it has all the information on what we're going to be talking about, building your credit score, protecting yourself against credit agencies, and even understanding interest rates. And there's something.
Now what time does the seminar start?
Two of
and what
them.
time is the registration?
1 at 10 and 1 at 12. Do not come at 5 minutes to each of those.
But the registration is from 9 to 9:45 for the first one.
Yes.
And the registration is 11:15 to 11:45.
All right. Now, you know, there's something that I meant to say that I found out, and I'm not sure if you told me, George, that with garnishments now, there are fraudulent people out there now issuing, listen, everybody, fraudulent people looking like they're official agencies putting garnishments on people's paychecks, and the HR departments at people's jobs are not checking it.
That's right.
Basically, when the HR department, look, all of a sudden, the HR department of your job gets a letter and it looks official,
right,
and it has a stamp on it. and you think it's a court-ordered garnishment because it looks like a stamp, and they say
so-and-so
owes us $50 a paycheck.
You are so right.
And then you don't know who to fight. Your job just puts it on. It happened to you?
Here at V103. I remember Jason calling me in one day. He was like, you have a garnishment. And I was like, for what? And he was showing me it was some kind of loan from somebody. I said, I never got a loan from these people. I never even heard of these people. And he actually said, well, hold on. They went back, and our company went back, and they traced it. And it was another Wanda that used to work here.
And they tried to put it on yours.
Tried to put it on mine. So they cleared it up and everything.
But they were just going to go ahead and do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes, my question is, if you have a collection account that you've had for several years, and you finally decide to pay that collection account, after you pay it, will that 7-year time frame start from the time that the account is paid in full?
The credit reporting agencies used to do that. They used to renew the date of lax activity to keep it on there for 7 more years. But one of the things that the FTC has done to help the consumers is they make them keep the date of lax activity where it was at. So if it was there 2 years ago, then you got 5 more years, but it shows it's been paid. And for folks, we're going to talk to you about collection agencies and how you do it. We're going to talk to you about the fake garnishment letters that Frank just brought up that collection agencies are creating, sending to the HR, putting these fake stamps, garnishments, these judicial stamps on there, but it's not real. And so we show you how to verify that too.
Again, you can call the number 404-249-NCES. That's 249-6237, or log on to ncesnow.org. Okay, one question. Is bankruptcy, I've heard so many arguments. People say, don't do bankruptcy. I've heard arguments, do a bankruptcy.
Yeah, well, I think some people should do a bankruptcy. If you are completely upside down, there's 2 types. There's a 13 and there's a 7. You have to be able to know which one to do. And a lot of times, nothing against attorneys, but they make more money when they do the Chapter 13. And you really should be discharging that debt, getting rid of it, instead of trying to repay on debt and things that you don't even have. Wow. The only time you should do a 13 is if you bought a house for $100,000, it's worth $300,000, but you don't have no money. You don't want to lose that positive equity in order to keep it. Then you should do a 13 to save your house. Or if you got a big
wait. If you do a 13, you can save your house?
Yeah, if you do a 13, because you want to save your house because you only owe $100,000, but it's worth $300,000. Right. So you don't want to lose that house, because you can't pay right now.
So not everybody can do that.
No, everybody can do a 13. The only time you should do a Chapter 13 is when you have assets that you need to protect.
Okay.
Like you got a big 401k plan, but you don't have enough money coming in on a monthly basis to pay your bills, so you want to protect your assets. But if you don't have no assets,
if you're upside down on your home, or if you're upside down on your car, it doesn't make sense to keep that negative equity.
It doesn't make sense to keep it.
You got credit card debt up, you know what I mean? So
I do want to address one thing that I hope you all talk about in the seminar. Please do this, because I had the hardest time when my son was in college. You have these companies that's offering your young kids, they're in college, they want them to get these credit cards, and your kids are out there spending money, getting all these free credit cards, messing up their credit, not understanding, hey, now isn't a good time, or it is a good time, because there are a lot of students that are away from home. So if you could address that, and I think it's a good, idea if our young people are there as well, so that they can understand when you go to college, it's easy to get a credit card. Like, there's no problem. And then by the time you're 30, you all mess up. My son never understood. Why can't I have a credit card? Everybody at school is getting one. But now he understands, and he's thanking me for, thank you for protecting me, because some of my friends are in a lot of trouble right now.
You have to be very careful, especially young people, when it comes to credit cards. And you have to understand the terms and conditions so that you're able to not borrow more than what you can pay back. And you have to be very cautious in how you take out credit, and be very protective of your credit as a whole.
And also with these student loans, and student loans and credit cards, you can go and get your 4-year degree, graduate, get your $45,000 a year job. But if you develop bad credit in college, you will be given that degree back by paying high interest and being a financial in poverty, a slave all the rest of your life. So as hard as you study to get that degree, study and understand the rules to the game of the financial piece.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
George.
Do y'all have good credit? Do y'all have good credit?
We got good credit.
Yes.
All right. Well, the ladies was asking me. Yeah, they have good